The BMW M4 back in 2021, we got the refresh. In 2022, they brought back the convertible with an all-wheel drive configuration. We're showcasing the 2026 BMW M4 Competition Xdrive convertible in Alpine white over Fiona red and black full merino leather. In 2023, we got a CSL special edition. For 2024, we got the iDrive 8, and last year we increased horsepower by 20. That gives us today 523 horsepower combined. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and I'm gonna go over the full specs and details of the exterior. We're gonna go into the interior, take it for a drive so you can see the performance and how it drives on a daily. The front, LED headlights, the daytime runnings, and they're the snake eyes here in the front. We have the shadow line trim package added. You get the air pocket here. It goes into the as well as that kidney grille with the glossy black front parking sensors. We have the driver assistance package, which gives you the 360-degree reverse camera and the parking assist. And the long bonnet or hood, depending on what country you're in, is going to house what's special about this vehicle. It's a 3.0-liter BMW M-Power turbocharged. That's a twin-turbo inline 6-cylinder, producing a combined of 523 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque paired to an 8-speed Steptronic automatic transmission. Now that's good for a 0 to 60 around 3.4 seconds, which is just maybe a few tenths of a second slower than the coupe. So when you're going this route, you're getting standard all-wheel drive. That's one reason why I would tick the box this route. Plus, you get the open air experience, making this the sweet spot, and you're still achieving 16 mpgs for the city, 22 mpgs for the highway, a top speed around 180 miles per hour. This is a 4-seat vehicle. Now I know it's not family oriented by any means, but it's track drive with the staggered wheel setup. We got a 19-inch up front, a 20-inch out back. That's a 275/35 up front and a 285/30 out back. Red brake calipers, that's housing 6 pistons in the front, vented slotted rotors, and a single floating caliper in the rear. And now let's go into competition. Audi does not have something that is comparable to this because they only have an S5 for the Cabriolet. Therefore, there's really no need to talk about specs because you'd have to go into an RS5 at least. And at that point, it's a sportback. It's a 4-door sedan. No more coupe layout. They stopped doing that a year back. Going against Mercedes, the CLS. Awesome vehicle, starts around 80 grand, so it's very similar in price, but they only have a AMG 53, no 63 variant, which this is gonna be faster with a better weight distribution. And for me, if I'm looking for something that I could take on the track, I live in the state of Florida. You can see how hot it is. I'm soaking wet. It's literally over 100 degrees every single day. I want a convertible top for the evening, not for the daytime, because that's kind of a rookie mistake. And even going against Cadillac, the CT5V Blackwing, awesome vehicle, don't get me wrong, there isn't any vehicle that really goes against this. CSL taillights, full LED. This was implemented last year with the retuned suspension. The lower gets the diffuser with the quad exhaust tip. This is one of the most aggressive exits for any of the 4 Series. And look how aggressive the front fenders are, and that bodywork goes into the rear. I like the line works that line up for this vehicle. It just stresses the aerodynamics, and the proportions make it look a lot more athletic. Now the M4, when you go convertible, is it worth it? I mean, you're getting the standard Xdrive, which is the all-wheel drive system. That sends 100% of torque to the rear wheel when needed, and it's basically like an intelligent all-wheel drive system, so it will help whenever the tires are slipping to give torque on the opposite side to keep the vehicle planted. And when you're pairing that with the near 50-50 weight distribution, I think this is a home run because you get the best of all worlds, and you get that retuned suspension from last year, plus you get the increase of horsepower because when you do not go Xdrive, you lose 20 horsepower. But let me know your thoughts in the comments which way you would go. Quick release, going into 15.6 cubic feet of storage. You have to push this up when you have the top up, so it'll give you more top to bottom storage capacity. You have a storage nook here, and you can split fold the rear bench by pulling this tab right here. And that will maximize the cargo capacity to the M4 Competition convertible, but we need to go inside, start it up, so you can hear that S58 engine exhaust note. key fob to the M4 Competition Convertible. Check this out. Oh, it's not doing it on the screen. Oh, there it is. Little hesitation, and then the intro comes in. 14-way power seat adjustment, heated, ventilated front seats. We have the neck warmers. The M4 illuminates, and it's embossed with the contrast stitch. Full merino leather memory for the driver. And the interior is going to be a bit of a tech focus and driver focus setup. Harman Kardon sound system. We get the contrast stitch on the dashboard, and the passenger side has a sufficient amount of room. Plus we have the manual cushion extensions on both the driver and passenger, so it makes it a little bit more easier for tall people so they can just relax. But all that set aside, let's fire it up. Heads-up display, auto-dimming rear view mirror with the HomeLink, LED interior lights, and the 14.9 informational display with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, wirelessly, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming, Bluetooth, audio, Spotify, Amazon Alexa, with the driver recorder, which is awesome because what this does is it shows everything on all cameras. It'll record for about 20 seconds, and then you could take this log and give it to anybody, God forbid, if you ever have an accident. That's what it's for. Put it into reverse, 360-degree reverse camera, full trajectory around the whole vehicle, and you can change the camera layouts just by simply clicking here or using the iDrive to roll around it. Backup assist switch, when you click that, it's going to show nothing because we just started the vehicle. But what that will do is I'll demonstrate. We're going to go forward just a little bit, turning the wheel. And now you see it's registered 27 feet. Put it into reverse. Let the vehicle do its thing. You just hover the gas and the brake pedal. Now you don't want to go too much more than 5 miles per hour because this will turn the system off. And you also want to be cautious with this system because obviously it's like an autopilot, something that you want to make sure you're handling. It's going to illuminate the red ambient lighting on the steering wheel. It'll also give you an indication that it came to that stopping point. Dual climate control settings, the air vent with the ambient lighting above. This was implemented a few years back. Opens up to a wireless charger, USB 12-volt cup holders, and it carries on right into here. It's soft to touch, opens up into a medium-sized storage pocket with a USB port. The steering wheel, leather wrapped obviously. Gonna turn it around like this so you can see better with the 12 o'clock. That's red. We get the cross stitch, flat bottom M spec, and you get the carbon fiber implemented inside with the M2 and M1 paddles, as well as the carbon fiber paddle shifts behind them that are enlarged. M1 and M2, what does that mean? Well, when you push it, you have your presets. This would be like your favorite setting, similar to a seat setting in the vehicle. So say this is going to be more performance, but then this would be more like track performance. As you see, it's all Sport Plus and Sport mode. Changing it back, and now you won't hear that exhaust note. The gauge cluster is a digital reader, 12.3. It can go through an array of different content for the driver, including your turn-by-turn navigation, and also when you're using the adaptive cruise control lane keep assist. You'll see vehicles there all around you, especially when you're on this area here. You'll see it regardless, but when you put that system on, it will also have a yellow indicator, so it's kind of following the person. Now, when you change the driver mode select into sport mode, it's going to change that tachometer. And then when you go into setup, you can change the whole configuration the way you like it to make it more performance driven, as well as the configuration for M1 and M2. Leg space is going to be more than enough for the driver and passenger, and the same thing with headroom, and it's a convertible, so come on. Door panel and dash configures it together nicely. The contrast stitch stops it to the speaker, and then it carries on right here to the dashboard. I like the way they do it because it's a little bit more symmetrical that way, instead of just kind of putting it here and then not necessarily keeping it as sport derived. One touch up and down for the windows. It's going to be more sporty. That's to be expected with a long storage pocket, a beverage holder, and you got a little cubby here for the driver. For the back seats, this is the opening that you have. It's going to electronically move forward. And when you have six figures, I guess you have all the time in the world for it to do so. I wish that it had a manual adjustment as well, just so that way you could go a little quicker. But that's the space that we have. I'm at 6'3". You're going to have a storage area here little armrest. For me, I'm gonna be using the big armrest. You get the air vents, you get cup holders. No armrest, well, you can put the pass-through down and it's kind of like an armrest. Let's move this seat back so we can see how much space I really get. Now what happens is it's going to index. It's also carved out for you so you can see where your legs should be, but unfortunately, there it is. Now it's moving forward as you're telling, and I don't even think 1/8 of an inch there. But if you're sitting like this, you're actually not sitting comfortable. You need to kind of sit like this. So the way the seats are for the front, they're outwards, whereas the seat in the back is inwards. So it makes it a little bit less desirable. Headroom is going to be a little bit tight, but this is a convertible. So just put the top down and look at that. You have a lot more space, and the way the front is, the wind, well, I'm at 6'3". It's gonna hit me because it would really be more towards this area here where you wouldn't feel that much of the wind. A 0 to 60 at 3.4 seconds is pretty crazy considering it's only 0.2 of a second slower. The top speed being 6 miles an hour slower than the coupe. I mean, I don't know, look what you get. Xdrive standard. Suspension was retuned last year, so the drive is a lot better. Braking on the vehicle is by far one of the best attributes of this. Grip, 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 that's what you're getting. And you can probably see the G-force that I'm getting, the exit. It's definitely a symphony to my ear, that exhaust note that filters in. And I mean, the whole drive, like as you drive these vehicles, you just get more confident with it, making it easier for you to take the bends in the road. And that's where BMW livens up, because you get all of that attributes, plus you get the open top experience, which nobody is giving you all of this blended in as one package. Now, how's the drive? For an everyday use, you can do that. That's what the upgraded suspension did. It made it a lot more easy to handle for a day in and day out, plus it's a little bit better on the track. Weight distribution, it is better than anybody in its class. Maneuverability, you can maneuver relatively easy. The steering is really light, and the exhaust will filter in pretty much all the time. We have it in Sport Plus, so that's another reason why. It's gonna take me into some pros and cons. Starting off with the pros is all of the power that you get. It's a convertible, plus this is a daily use vehicle. Now, going into some cons, you still have to purchase packages like safety features, which to me should be standard because we're in 2026. I like the exterior styling, the snake eyes setup, and even the rear. We're getting some of the CSL components that are implemented for a fraction of the price. Turn radius at more or less a stop point. It's gonna be about 2 lanes. Let's rock and roll. Oh, it's just such a fun vehicle. Practical, not really. Comfortable, it's pretty good. The cushions have enough to them in the seats. It's gonna be bolstered a lot more sporty than Audi and Mercedes, but I also appreciate that because this has a lot more power in the sense of what you're getting compared to it, because they don't have anything that's a convertible. It's a bit noisy in the cabin, but the exhaust note does filter in enough, so it kind of covers that. The staggered wheel setup, it doesn't feel too much over the top. And again, with that retuned suspension, it really changed the ballgame for this vehicle. The other cons is it's still going very tech forward. with this dashboard layout. I wish this was more configured into the dash. I do think they did a great job in the sense of masking it, but it could have been a little bit better. It's not too over the top in the sense of the height being like an eyesore, so I appreciate that because I can actually see over it. But still, everything is pretty much derived through there. We do have a physical button to turn on and off the sound system and to change the tracks, but when you're talking about the climate control, the Apple CarPlay still has some glitch where it'll kick you off or have you connected whenever you're talking. And then right here, they still haven't fixed this setup here. Your cup holders are right in front of your 12-volt and USB port. I mean, if you spill a drink, which most of the time people fill the drinks to the brim, it's gonna go all over the electronics and even onto your smartphone. I like that the smartphone is tucked back here, so it's kind of hidden out of your way, but in the same token, you can't really close this up all the way. But just cleaning it up a little bit more so to make it easy for the day in and day out. I could definitely drive this every day. It's a little bit of a rookie day to put the top down. I know it only says 95 degrees, but it's really more about 101 to 102. It's very high humidity outside, so I have a lot of reviews with the top down. You can watch them so you can see the difference. And it does funnel the air around you, so it doesn't actually go inside so much. You don't actually have to keep the windows up. So I like how they have engineered the exterior because it's not just dynamically speaking, but they've also thought about the convertible aspect of this vehicle. So I think BMW has made that vehicle that is a sweet spot, especially when you want a convertible and you don't want to spend too much more than 6 figures. You go this direction, but let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check this next video out right here.